What's up guys, MikeCoco back here, bringing you guys a new video on the Legendary Update. Now I know it's been around a month since the Legendary Update was actually introduced, but I've been really busy with school and exams. But that aside, let's just get right into what's happening with the Legendary Update. So by now it's been a month. Generally, most people should have around one Legendary if you were at endgame before. If you don't, then I would recommend you to start farming for tickets, and I'll explain that a little bit later. So the first thing I want to get into is the reworked stats of a lot of the heroes. So as you can see, a lot of the heroes, if you look down in the corner, they deal significantly more damage, and that is because of the change in stats of a lot of these heroes. Um, Stats are now boosted for most or pretty much all heroes, and each hero has their main stat boosted a crap amount. So Christine has 11k agility. Similarly, melee users will have really high strength, um, and magic user will have really high int. So none of these heroes, well, basically none of these heroes have a really high vitality because melee users are either strength or your magic users who use int, and agility and vitality are secondary stats. But in terms of tanking, vitality is still quite important. So with this change in stats, you see that a lot of heroes deal a crap amount of damage, as I said before. 40,000 damage, which is a 30,000 damage increase since the last video of Christine on the defense debuff video, I think. And with this, I would really recommend doing Awakening because, as you can see, increased stats means that these high level or high stat awakenings are much more common. I have a 1000 awakening on here on Christine. I have another 1000 on Jeanette. I have another 1000 on, or I don't remember who it's on, but there's a very high level one. Yeah, it's Lasita. She has another 1000. So these 1000 awakening stats are quite common, and it's so common to the point that I would recommend getting and sticking with a awakening that doesn't unlock a ring slot but maintains this high level stat change, because these rings generally don't increase your stats by too much. This is like 200 at level 3. At level 4, level 5, it might be 250 to 300, but that can't compare to something like a 1300 stat boost. So my personal preference is that I would recommend sticking with the high level awakening compared to trying to unlock a ring slot. And with these high stats and this increased amount of damage, you should be able to farm tower floors a bit higher than before. I would say anywhere from 5 to 10 levels higher would be doable compared to prior to the Legendary Update. And this also means that for Bounty Hunt, you should be able to auto pretty much the first 2 levels if you were at endgame before. If you weren't, then I don't know, your mileage may vary depending on how well you equipped and how far into the game you are. So next up we have Legendary. So here is Sarissa. As you can see, there's a little silver frame representing that it's Legendary. And the reason why we have Legendary here is because we have 6-star. So now the metagame has been shifted from 6 stars and 5-star heroes to Legendary heroes. So generally the order is as follows: Legendary EX, Legendary SS, Legendary S, Legendary A, and then we drop down to rank 6, rank 5, rank 4, rank 3, rank 2, rank 1. That's now the current metagame. The old metagame was very focused on farming fodders in order to get rank EXP, or such as here, to get rank EXP to get your heroes to 6-star. And while 6-star heroes are still kind of important in this new meta, the current meta now focuses far more on legendary heroes, and I'll explain to you right now. So, Sarissa at level 67, remember this is a Season 2 hero, has generally 15,000 agility, which is actually a lot. It would compare to Lucida, who's a Season 5 S6, only has 1,000 or 13,000 agility. And this is only for a Season 2 hero, and it's Sarissa, who's not even a very high base stat hero to begin with, and this is only at Legendary rank A. Lucida is capped. She can't go any further unless she goes to Legendary, while Sarissa can keep leveling via level and rank to S, SS, and EX, and that is why the new metagame is focused on getting Legendary heroes. Also, that was removed or ignored in the old metagame is the season precedence. So before, high level season heroes are generally preferred over low seasons. For example, season 5 was generally better than season 4, season 4 was generally better than season 3, and so on and so forth. But now it's not the case with the legendary update. As you see here, this is S3 Nikki at 6 star with pretty much 11,000. We'll just round that to 11,000 strength. And this is EK, which is one of my personal favorites and a highly recommended hero from season 5. At 5 star, only has 10,000. So you're wondering, why the hell does this season 3 hero have the same amount of strength as a season 5 hero? And again, if you look at the vitality, it's a bit off, but that's because Nikki has higher agility to trade off for that vitality. So you're probably wondering, and the reason is Legendary Update completely removed the importance of seasons. Seasons are still important, but now rank is more important, and this is obviously seen through the Legendary A versus a 6 star. So right now, rank is more important than season, but Legendary is more important than everything else. So this is why I highly recommend everyone to start getting Legendary as soon as possible. And the fastest way to get legendary, of course, is going to be through grinding, and you will probably be grinding tower floors. So to get actual legendary, actually I'm going to return back to the old screen. To actually get legendary heroes, you need to go to the fuse screen to extract essence. When you extract essence, I currently don't have any rank 6 heroes to extract from. When you extract essence from a rank 6 hero, you get a certain amount of legendary essence. You can use 100 hearts to boost your chances by 5%, so initially you will have around a 2% chance of getting 1,000 essence, and if you use 100 hearts, it will boost it to 7% chance of getting 1,000 essence. Otherwise, if you don't use hearts, you can earn anywhere between 10 to 1,000 essence. Generally, I've done a few extractions already, and I haven't got anything over 100. So that tells you how much you need to farm and how many tickets you need. So again, you need these rank 6 heroes in order to extract these essence. Now, how do you get rank 6 heroes? Well, previously you get rank 6 heroes by farming fodders and just continually fusing. The easier way is to farm tickets rather than farming EXP. If you farm tickets, for example here, I'm farming a lot of Season 3 tickets and I get Camille, Bryn, Romulus, Celine. These are obviously not great heroes. These are mostly just heroes used for mines, or not even mines, just used for fodder purposes. You get these heroes and you fuse them together. When you fuse similar heroes, you get bonus EXP around from 2,000 to 4,000 depending on the rank. So by doing this, you can easily get a rank 6 hero. Here Camille's like 1,000 away, and I just need to get one more 3-star Camille, and you can get these 3-star and 2-star or 3-star and 4-star heroes easily from S3 tickets. So that's why I highly recommend farming S3 tickets here. Once you get 1,000, you can either hire your 1,000, your one legendary hero by using 1,000 essence, and it'll be like RNG based. So depending on, if RNG likes you or not, you get a good one. I did not get a good one, and I got Sarissa, which is actually pretty bad. But right now, her damage is almost equivalent to Christine. Christine has a bit higher because she's bow, but Sarissa is competing fairly well at around 40,000 damage, which is actually still quite low compared to a lot of the legendaries I've seen people and some of my guild mates have. So after that, you can choose to use 1,000, or if you bought the 30 Lasitas, I believe, from the previous or one of the older videos, and you have a lot of, or six star, or was it 5? Let's see, I think it's 5 6-star Lasitas. I'm just going to check really quickly. If you have 5 6-star Lasitas, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then you can create a legendary Lasita. So no RNG, but you do have to use almost double or more than double the legendary essence. That is what I'm aiming for right now, and if you know that you get legendary essence very slowly, this is what I would recommend first, because that way you ensure that you get a good legendary, and a legendary that will be useful, and a legendary you will use, versus getting someone like Sarissa, who, well, I'll use her, but her skill is not particularly useful. So if you get essence slowly, I would recommend this. If you get essence really quickly, then just blow it all away and RNG it every single time, because that way you can get legendary heroes much faster, but there's also a potential of getting heroes that you don't need. If you do get heroes you don't need, then you can use Transcend, and Transcend is basically a process where you fuse other legendary heroes to other heroes. So Transcend needs two things. You need a legendary hero on this side, so the hero that's going to gain the EXP and by chance may increase in rank, and you need another legendary hero here that you will use as kind of like fodder. So right now, you can only use Transcend for Legendary and Legendary. So for rank A, there's a possibility of getting it to rank S if you fuse another Legendary to Sarissa. However, this chance is not a 100% chance success. If it fails, you get a certain amount of Legendary Essence back, but the EXP will still remain transferred. So what I would recommend is if you get a Legendary hero you don't like, either level them up, and as you level them up, they'll benefit your tower team. And when you get a legendary hero you do like, you can just fuse, and the EXP will be transferred. And hopefully the Transcendence will succeed, and you'll get from A to S, or S to SS, or SS to EX rank. So that's the general process for these legendary heroes. So back to actually getting these legendary heroes, I would recommend going to Tower Floor 77. Now this is for people who were at endgame before the legendary update. If you were not at endgame, then I would recommend picking a Tower Floor that drops a lot of tickets. So I'm not too sure which floors still drop a lot of tickets. Yeah, 64 seems to be a decent one because there's S3 ticket rewards. If you can't handle 77, what else? I think 67 was also a good one before. Yeah, 67 is also a good one before. So those ones are decent, but the best one I think is 77 because you get S3 tickets, and the ratio is generally for every 10 runs you'll get maybe anywhere between 6 to 8 S3, and the ratio of S3 to S2 is around 8 to 2. So for every 10 runs you do, if you do get 10 tickets, 8 of them will be S3 and 2 of them will be S2. S2 you can sell into Merchant and trade different hero points and buy more S3s. You can also try 82, which drops S4s and Demigod, but you're doing two things at once, and obviously you're not going to get Legendary as fast. And the reason why I do not recommend this method is because Legendary heroes now takes precedence over Demigod. Demigod is actually not that important anymore because a Legendary hero is going to have far better stats than your armor makes up. So even if you only have SS Ascended right now, your Demigod will not change it because having a Legendary is more important than having a rank 6 Demigod. So the comparison I'm going to make here is Sarissa is using actually really poor equip. This is all like level 80 Legendary and SS Ascended. And we have Lasita here, who has some Demi, and some Ascended, and really good Legendary. So the point is, rank 6 Demigod is going to be worse than a rank A or a Legendary Ascended. So that's why I say Demigod is a lower precedence and lower priority right now. I highly recommend going for Legendary as soon as possible. And because of this, that's why I recommend farming floor 77, because 77 drops a crap amount of tickets, just a huge amount. And lastly, we have the bounty hunt and legendary gear. So I just want to show you guys the new level 2 legendary gear, so legendary 90 as most people call it. So this is legendary 90 gear. You can see the stat difference is around 2,500 and 2,700 versus DK's around 2,200 and 2,000. So it's around a 500 stat difference. And even though here there's a big difference, that's because my Jonet here is better equipped and has a better awakening than my DK. But the stat difference from level 40 to or level 90 to level 80 is not huge, and that's why I recommend getting legendary 90 weapons instead. This is a legendary 90 weapon at, let's see, 12,000, or let's use DK's because his seems a bit more balanced. So this is at 11,500 attack. This is a Excalibur, so level 90 sword with a massive 4, versus Nikki, who has around 11,000 strength, so 500 less, and has a massive 6 demigod. And you can see the attack difference is huge, 4,000 from the upper end of both heroes. So that's why I highly recommend getting these weapons. These weapons are far superior than the demigod equivalent. And with the introduction of the new level 90 legendary, Nexon also changed a lot of the skills or the effects of the legendary weapons. So now all legendary weapons have a permanent, quote unquote, massive inscription. That is to say that all their passive inscripts are always attack up. So here is Excalibur. Sarissa again is also attack up. If you had equipment prior to the update, then it will still remain as whatever it was. So for example, if I can find it, Alice, I think, still has the old cannon. Or no, Alice does not have the cannon. Or was it Pokey? Let's see if I can find a good example. No. So what I want to say is the old stats still remain. This is a good one. So this is prior to the legendary update. This is a legendary spear, legendary 80 spear, and it still has the old passive stats, which is strength and dex up. So if you had old weapons before the legendary update, they were not affected. But any new legendary 80 weapons you pull from chests, these chests or the legendary equipment chest, they will all have a quote unquote massive inscription. So you don't need to worry about getting worse inscriptions. You can now think of all weapons to have a massive inscription. And I think that's actually quite useful. So, and with that, we have Legendary 2, and again with the armor. So, I advise getting weapons because, as you saw before, the armor does not make a huge difference, and there's a harder time to get these high level inscript armor. I already tried pulling a few pieces of armor, and it's just really hard to get a high level inscription. This one is quite nice at a level 7, but I prefer the active, which is the heal. So it's just much more difficult to get the high level armor inscription because this one will still work fine. A level 8 will still heal pretty much 80% of damage. So that's why I recommend sticking with it if you have, or if you already have high level legendary gear or legendary armor specifically, then just stick with it. Don't bother, because here you can see just a level 4 itself is already superior to a massive 6. So the weapon difference is much higher between legendary and non-legendary, versus trying to get better legendary armor, which has a smaller improvement. And the last thing is how to actually get this armor. There's Bounty Hunt, and now you can see that there's 8 levels of Bounty Hunt. These two are the same. These are Bounty Hunt 1 and Bounty Hunt 2 are generally unchanged. You should be able to auto both of these because A, your attack is increased, and while the mob's attack, defense, and HP has increased, they did not increase at the same ratio as your attack. So for example, back to Christine, we had a 30,000 damage increase for Christine, but the mobs might only have a 10,000 increase in defense and a 10,000 increase in attack versus Christine's 30,000, so you'll still have an advantage. So that's why you should be able to handle these two no problem. BH 3 and 4 are slightly harder. You will require assists, but these are doable at endgame without legendary heroes. So if you have a lot of rank 6 with Demi or SS Ascended, you should be able to handle these two. BH 4 might require some friend assists or GM assists, but they should be handleable, or okay. Handleable is not a word. And then we have BH 5, 6, 7, 8. These I would not even recommend if you don't have legendary. You pretty much just need a team of legendary. Otherwise, there's no point in trying to solo this. Of course, co-op still works, but if you're trying to solo this without a legendary, I wish you good luck because I hope you will have a good time, because I've tried soloing it already and the mobs just deal like 20,000 damage, and like my tanks only have like what, 19,000, 18,000 HP max, so just get one shot easily. So that's my recommendation for BH, or not BH2, the legendary 2 chest. And the chest contains some nice items. So this is a level 2 chest right here versus the level 1 chest. The level 2 chest now has a minimum of 100 medals. The maximum is 200, and you can also pull level 1 or level 2 chests from the legendary or rare treasure chest. So that's pretty much it for that. And there's also one more coupon for Christmas, and it's Xmas Slow. I'll probably link this in the description, but I've already used it, so it won't work for me anymore. It's also available on the Google Play app, or the App Store. So if you check it, they'll list out the coupon code on the update area. And the last thing I want to talk about is the legendary heroes. You see that there are now 67 over 100, which means that legendary heroes can be leveled past 50, which is the most important part, or one of the most important parts of legendary. Because at level 50, it's generally going to be the same as at rank 6, but it's the increase in level that makes the big difference. So that's pretty much it for legendary update, guys. Peace.